we're going to bring a NewsNation legal contributor, Jesse Weber. And Jesse, you're the anchor and host for the Law and Crime Network, and also I see you on NewsNation all the time. Great to have you this morning. What does each side need to prove here during closing arguments? This is when the theater happens.
I think closing arguments are one of the most important parts of a trial. Technically, they're not evidence, but it's the last attempt by each side to convince this jury one way or another. Now, look, the burden's on the prosecution. It's their case. And I say that, I don't say that lightly. Like we always say that the burden's on the prosecution. But here, in order to convince this jury that this is not just a misdemeanor of falsifying business records, but that, as Caitlin said, it is a felony. It's that Donald Trump falsified business records with the criminal intent to cover up another crime. They have to be very clear about what that crime is. Now, we know that Judge Merchan is actually given the prosecution a win in the jury instructions. In other words, the jury doesn't have to be unanimous on what that underlying crime is. One juror could think that Donald Trump falsified business records to avoid tax laws. Another one could say, oh, he falsified business records to violate New York State election law. And that's a big win for the prosecution. And he also gave them a win in terms of how to define what criminal intent is. But when you give the jury all these different options, I imagine the defense could say, this is very confusing. The prosecution doesn't even know what their case is about. There is reasonable doubt here. Look at Michael Cohen, their star witness, as Caitlin mentioned. So it's the opportunity for the prosecution to try to prove their case and the defense trying to raise reasonable doubt to all they need is one juror, and this is a hung jury, and ultimately it would be a mistrial. That would be a win for Donald Trump.
All right, Caitlin, I'm going to bring you back in. It really is such a fine needle that has to be thread. You know, it's confusing, isn't it? I think that's why some Americans are watching this. They've tuned out for a little while. They're just tuning in. What do they need to know today?
Yeah, you and Jesse really summed it up there. It is confusing. The path to guilty is really kind of convoluted. Me covering this every day since this started, it's still a little confusing to me. So it's really important if prosecutors are going to try to get this guilty verdict that they make it as clear as possible. They lay out this map of what they say happened, beginning with the catch and kill scheme with the National Enquirer, to the payment to Stormy Daniels to silence her for that story, to buy the rights to that story effectively, to the $130,000 payment, all the way to the checks and the invoices and the ledger entries that went through the Trump Organization, which paid Michael Cohen out, they said, for that payment. They really need to get the jury to do that. But the defense the entire time, I have to tell you, has done a good job bringing up a lot of other things, sort of smoke and mirrors, red herrings, to confuse the jury. There's a lot of information that they've taken in over these past few weeks through these 20 witnesses that in order to keep your eye on what the actual crime is that they're trying to decide, it's difficult. And I have to say the defense has done a good job at sort of scattering that roadmap.
Well, what we've heard from the former President Trump, he's saying that he thinks the judge is corrupt. This is a witch hunt. Jesse, do you believe that Judge Merchan has delivered one side a win in jury instructions? And you also hear critics of the president saying this is just what he does when he's down, when he's on the ground, when his hands are behind his back or up, that he just says, I'm being treated unfairly.
Look, were there wins for the prosecution in the jury selection, in the jury instruction process? Absolutely. But what Donald Trump seems to not accept is that there were wins for him during the course of this whole trial. Remember, Judge Merchan issued favorable rulings in terms of what evidence the prosecution would not be allowed to bring in terms of if Donald Trump wanted to take the stand, the prosecutors were not allowed to ask him a number of questions. And that seems to be ignored by Donald Trump. I've taken issue with that idea of calling Judge Merchan corrupt and biased. Sure, did he have these kinds of political leanings going into this trial? Was an argument, should he recuse himself? Sure. But at the end of the day, after looking at everything he did in this trial, I have to say he seemed relatively fair. Now, that doesn't mean that if Donald Trump gets convicted, he wouldn't have grounds for an appeal. Maybe some of the testimony from Stormy Daniels was too inflammatory and it biased the jury. But at this point, I cannot say that Judge Merchan was biased against Donald Trump during the course of this trial.
There we go.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. Also, don't forget to click that red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.